You may not know it, but an invasion might be underway. Computers are running more and more of our lives. They're everywhere. How did they enter our lives? Where did they come from? All clues point to 1804 and a guy by the name of Joseph Marie Jacquard. Lyon, France, early 1800s. Silk City, rebuilding after the revolution. Joseph Marie Jacquard. He grew up around looms, learned the craft, and loved to tinker. He wanted weaving to be less heavy and more exact. So he studied what had come before, early ideas that pointed the way. In 1804, he fitted a compact head to the loom. A chain of punch cards, stiff cards with holes, stored the pattern so the machine could remember and repeat. He didn't know it then, but moving the pattern out of the brain and onto the machine would echo far beyond textile. A loom made cloth from two sets of threads. Warp ran up and down. Weft passed across. Jacquard's add-on sat on top like a small brain. Each press of the pedal advanced a punch card, a stiff card with holes that stored one step of the pattern. A grid of needles pressed against the card. Where there was a hole, a needle passed through and pulled a hook. That hook lifted a thread, or bundle of threads. Where there was no hole, the thread stayed down. Lifted threads and resting threads created a gap for the shuttle to slide the wefts through. Card advanced, step finished, picture grew, row by row. The cards were tied into a chain, so the loom remembered long patterns. Loop the chain to repeat a motif. Swap the chain to change the design. Did this chain of cards start the computer revolution? (1830s), Charles Babbage studied mechanical computing. His plan for the analytical engine used punch cards to store instructions for maths. (1890), Herman Hollerith turned punch cards into data storage for the US Census. That success led to companies that later became IBM. 1940s to 1970s, early computers read punch cards for numbers and programs. One card, one step. Same pattern across the century. Instructions or data lived on cards. Machines read the holes and acted. People swapped the cards to change the job. From silk patterns to software, the trick stayed the same. Store the plan outside the person. Let the machine follow it. Jacquard's loom wasn't a computer. It didn't do maths or store numbers by itself. But it did run a stored program. Punch cards held the plan. The machine followed the plan. That idea traveled from Lyon's silk to Babbage's designs, to Hollerith's data, to early computers that read stacks of cards. Next, we unmask the culprits behind the first ever computer program.